All right, the number one mistake programs make when starting player development is they copycat other programs. They clone, they carbon copy, whatever you want to call it, but they take everything from that program and they want to do it for their program. I get it, but it doesn't always work. Okay, so how do we get out of that mistake of saying, hey, look at what Paul Journey's doing, I want that? Hey, I actually did a podcast about that says everybody's not Paul Journey at Clemson. Watch it there. But the way to do it is you need to identify. You need to identify what is genuine to your program. What's your location? What's your coach's passion? What players you recruiting? What's the majors you have on campus? What is your university known for, right? What is your city known for? What industries are in your city? What areas of impact can you make in the city? What providers are already creating impact in the city? You want to look at all the resources in the city. You want to look at all the things that you care about, and then you want to look at all the things the coaches care about. And in some cases, you can get what the players care about, but they move in and out. So that can be a transient evaluation. But you have to make it genuine to you. You have to make it genuine to you. You have to, number one, identify what is going to be the foundation. What will be the foundation of the program? What will this program do? At the end of the day, what are we looking to do? What is the impact we want to have? How do we want to help athletes, right? Everybody's passionate about it. Everybody wants to create impact, but you have to define what that looks like, okay? Number one, we got to define what that is. Number two, going back to what I said earlier, where are the resources? Where are the resources? Are we getting resources from our funding? Are there resources on campus? Are there resources in the city? Where are the resources? Where are the resources, right? There's a lot of people doing the work that you want to do in the city, specifically if you're moving into a city. This conversation is a lot of times for coaches that just took a job and they want to bring player development from where they were at, or maybe they were assistant coach. They saw how the high head coach did it there and they're like, hey, I want to do it this way. But what about the resources in your city? Who's already doing the work? Number three, how are you going to get it done, right? You built the foundation, you found out the resources. Now you're looking at how will we get this done? How will this program get done? We have a director. Do we need to hire somebody else? Like, when are we going to do programming? Is it going to be in the summer? Is it going to be weekly? You need to figure out how you're going to get this done. Now, I will say this. If you're taking over a program, you have time to figure all this out. Because the number one thing you need to do when you take over a program, or if you're starting player development, is build relationships. So while you're building relationships, you have time to figure out how you're going to get it done. Are we bringing in speakers? Are we going to hire more people? Are we going to connect with our student athlete development department in athletics? If you're a team-facing role, are we going to bring in alumni? You know, coach, are you going to be involved? Are the coaches going to be involved? How are you going to get that done? So we got our foundation of what we're going to do, what's the impact we want to see, here are the resources, how we're going to get it done. And then, so now that you have the how, right, number four, you need to put it in the plan. You need to have an absolute written out plan, a strategic plan of this is how we are going to get it done. This is how we will make it happen. This is how, like literally, here you go. Athletic director, that's how we're going to do it. Right? Here is our plan. Here is the physical plan of when it's going to happen, how we're going to get it done. Here's the result, right? And that can be a lot. That can be a lot. I have a lot of resources on this page to help you, but I want to help those you all. I know I'm excited. Some of you all watching this want to make player development. And what I do have for you, I want to help you with this even more. I have a program readiness assessment. So maybe you're sitting there like, man, I'm listening to this guy. Are we ready to have player development, right? That's a good question to ask. That's a fair question to ask, right? So I have an assessment that says player development program readiness in the show notes. Please, please, please click on that and get your assessment, and I'll reach out to you and we can work together. But that's the big thing. Like I said, going back to the theme of this message, this podcast, is the biggest mistake people make when starting player development is they just copycat what other people are doing. I don't want you to copycat. I want you to make your own program that affects your athletes, because that's all that matters. All that matters. You might not have the glitz, the glam, the gold, the shimmer. You may not be able to go overseas. You may not be able to go to New York or LA. You need to do what works best for you. Where is the impact? How can you create it as soon as possible once the plan is set? Now, if you're like, hey, well, you talk about this foundational stuff and How do I find these foundations? Where do I find this? Hey, I have a podcast episode right here that talks about the 10 areas of player development that you can use as pillars, of player development. Since we're talking about pillars, you want to look at mine, it's down here. 3 pillars of the Beyond the Field program. As always, go out and create generational impact. Don't wait, create that generational impact today and fill out that program readiness assessment. I want to help you.